Welcome to our video on simple sentences. This is part 4 of the sentence analysis series. The previous videos went through the 5-step analysis in detail from step 1, parts of speech, step 2, subject predicate, step 3, clauses and phrases, step 4, is it a statement, exclamation, command or question? Step 5, what type of a sentence is it? Is it simple, compound or complex? As you already know, the title of this video is Simple Sentences. Then it stands to reason that our sentence you will be analysing is a simple sentence. Why not pause the video here now and try the pre-test? The sentence you will be analysing is the brown and white giant wolf howled madly at the red moon. Pause the video, give each step a go. How did you go? Don't worry if you didn't get a lot on each line. Each time you practice these with new sentences, you improve. Let's have a look at how you went with the analysis. First up, let's look at the. This is an article. Remember, there are only 3 articles, the, a and an. Next we have the nouns. Wolf is a noun and moon is a noun. Remember, nouns are people, place, animal and things. From the nouns, let's have a look at the adjectives. Let's first start off with the noun wolf and look at the adjectives linked to the wolf. So wolf is our noun. Adjectives are additional elements of nouns. If you think of the mnemonic, I like to say to students, if you know what an adverb is, an adverb adds meaning to a verb, then the one that's left over, the adjective, is the one that adds meaning to a noun. That's the easiest way to look at it. Adverb sticks with the verb. The other one, adjective, which has no hints as to where it belongs, links in with the noun. So in this instance we have brown, white, giant wolf. So this isn't just a wolf, it is a brown, that's an adjective, white, giant, and the noun being wolf. And with our moon, it's not just any moon, it's a red moon. So the adjective red describes the moon, gives us more of an idea of what the noun is all about. How did you go with the verb? Howled. Remember, a verb is a doing or thinking word. In this instance, the wolf did something. He howled. Now that leads us on to the adverb. Remember, adverb has verb in the word, so that's an easy way to connect it to the verb, or remember the mnemonic to keep connected to the verb. Now, what you can do to find out which one is the adverb is find the verb, the doing word, in this instance howled, and go, well, how did the wolf howl? He howled madly. So the adverb is madly. It adds more meaning to the way he howled. Can you remember the mnemonic for prepositions? I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, with prepositions, if you look at the word position is in it. So our preposition here is at. That leads us into the conjunctions. Now, if you've written down that it's a coordinating conjunction, you'd be correct. Now, I've held off calling it a coordinated conjunction until the next video, which will be dealing with compound sentences. But if you already know about compound sentences and coordinating conjunctions, and is one of the fanboys, and I will go into that in the next video, so don't panic if you don't understand what I'm saying. In this instance, if you've just written conjunctions, that's fine. If you've written coordinating conjunction, all the better. But and in this instance is pulling together 2 words, 2 adjectives in a list to describe the wolf. So in this instance, it's not coordinating a compound sentence, it's coordinating words in a list. Okay, more on that next video. Step 2 of our analysis is looking at subject-predicate. So let's start off with, did you get the subject of the sentence? The subject of the sentence, the thing doing the action, or the main focus of the sentence, is the wolf. Now we've included the brown and white giant wolf here. If we will look at it from a noun perspective, this is actually a noun group as well. And if you're looking for noun groups, red moon is also a noun group. In English, the predicate is usually the verb of the sentence. So whatever the subject is doing, in this instance the wolf, and he is howling, that would be the predicate. So howled madly. You'll incorporate the adverb there as well, because that's part of the verb group. In some sites though, what you will find is they include also the object of the sentence. So in English we have subject, predicate, object, or subject, verb, object. And on some sites you will find, when you're looking at sentence structures, that they classify the predicate as actually the verb and the object. So be aware of that as you're going, and I'm going to keep showing you that the predicate can also be classified as the predicate and the object, simply because on many sites that I have seen, that is exactly how they do it. But be aware that the predicate in English is usually the verb of the sentence. So whatever the subject is doing, the verb, that is the predicate. That leads us into the next step of our analysis. Step 3, clauses and phrases. Now there are two different clauses, an independent and a dependent clause. We will go more into those for the complex sentence analysis. At the moment I'm just going to explain the independent clause is pretty much a simple sentence. It's a complete thought. Okay, a dependent clause is an incomplete thought, so therefore it's not technically a proper sentence. Again, I will go into that more. In this instance, the brown and white giant wolf howled is an independent clause. We could even take out the adjectives there and go, the wolf howled. That would still be an independent clause because it's a complete thought. It has the noun and the verb within that sentence. Okay, once you understand the difference between independent and dependent clauses, which will be an ongoing learning element, you may pick up a little bit more when we do complex sentences, so don't worry too much. At the moment, the brown and white giant wolf howled is the independent clause. This sentence also has a phrase, at the red moon. Now, this doesn't change the fact that this is a simple sentence. As I said before, many students think because it's a long sentence, it has to be a complex one. Again, the independent clause is the wolf howled, or the wolf howled madly. The object is at the red moon, and so the phrase is at the red moon. So here we have an independent clause and a phrase. Which leads us into step 4. What type of a sentence is it? And this is indicated through our punctuation as far as, is it a statement, an exclamation command, or a question? Now you know that if you see a question mark at the end of a sentence, it's a question. In this instance we have a full stop. This makes it a statement. Now if we say exclamation, it's usually a command or an exclamation. Now be careful there, because sometimes there are exceptions to that rule, but that's something that's a little bit more complex and you'll learn later on. So at this point in time, this full stop indicates that we have a statement. You may also notice the comma that we've used here for our punctuation. We've used this comma to separate our list of adjectives, the adjectives describing the wolf. So it's not a brown, white, giant wolf, it's a brown and white, comma, giant wolf. So in this instance, our punctuation also includes a comma used within a list but the full stop at the end of our sentence means that we have a statement. And our final step of the analysis, step 5, is it a simple, compound, or complex sentence? Now, as we are doing a simple sentence analysis, you already know that this is a simple sentence. We will go through the compound and complex, and then at a later stage, I'm going to start adding sentences where I don't tell you what type of a sentence it is. But before I get to that point, I want to go through describing the simple, compound, and complex sentences. Well, that's the end of the simple sentences analysis. Hopefully you've picked up even one little element of the whole process as a learning aspect. Remember, you don't need to know everything all in one go, and you won't. No matter how often you do it, there will be something more that you learn. And that is a good, positive thing to go forward. Alright, looking forward to seeing you in our compound sentences analysis. Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe.